I met a gypsy.
You actually have blown my mind with some concepts and like basically the big everything that you did in like a huge soundstage. Like I saw that and was just like, F- off. That was one of those where it was just like a mind blowing concept.
Yeah, that was a fun one. That came from Imaginate. It was that film was called.
That's right.
And
Looked up Imaginate, Danny McCaskill.
that came from basically. Well, the last bigger film I'd done with Red Bull was, I think, it was the kind of last bigger one I'd done was Way Back Home. There's a few other bits and pieces, but it's kind of the same thing as like, how do I kind of repackage my writing? Well, I was fed up of trying to work with the 5D cameras.
Yeah.
Trying to look out for waiting for the sun, waiting for the light and all that. So
yeah.
I thought it'd be quite cool to do a studio-based film where we've got complete control over everything. And I kind of, as I was saying earlier, nostalgia is very powerful. So when I was a kid, I used to do this kind of stuff, or I used to play with my fork at the dinner table. I'm sure every kid that's into motorbikes is rhythming their flipping
the mashed potatoes,
all that kind of stuff. So I thought it'd be quite fun to, myself and my friend Stu Thompson, who directed this film, I thought it'd be fun to build a big set and try to sort of be this little character riding on this giant stuff. So yeah, it was that was another one. Red Bull really trusted what we were sort of imagining, and we're probably in that warehouse for like 6 months altogether. It wasn't all set.
My next question.
Yeah, it was a long time, and kind of worked with, again, a team of friends. They were working, friend Davey, who's actually out here with me in LA. Friends of mine were building the boxes in the set, and he was painting it all. But yeah, it was a cool film. Again, it was quite surprising that it did well. It was another kind of like, we can recreate this sort of formula, as long as you come up with a good concept.
Yeah.
It is possible to kind of surprise folk, entertain folk, and yeah, I'm really proud with that one. Although I was pretty much I wouldn't say I had a mental breakdown, but it was quite hard going into the set every day and it was like Groundhog Day. I was kind of coming back. I'd had a back operation like 6 months before this. Oh no, maybe 10 months before this. We filmed this, so I was really not physically
100%.
Yeah, physically 100%. But I'd say I managed to get a lot of the ideas and tricks down on the film, like that one from flip over the ball into the railway track. There's just like loads of fun moves that I really wanted to kind of get down on film.
And so, what's the process creatively from the writing standpoint? Like, are you just kind of in there making things up, not like on the fly, but it's like, okay, I could do this. This would be cool. And then you do it, and then you move on to the next, or do you literally just have like a checklist?
We had basically I'd have a book and a pen, and I would just stick man draw a lot of kind of conceptual ideas. Of course, we had to build a lot of we got all the blocks built. We thought we need to get some building blocks, so we just got a load of those made up. We got their telegraph poles cut into pencils. We got some playing cards. So we had all these kind of building blocks that we kind of got made up.
Yep.
And then it was a case of sort of, with all this setup, what could we, what tricks would be fun and interesting to do. And then we kind of work our way towards that. So we'd kind of come in the morning and set things up. Maybe chuck some mats down if I was trying to do the 360 backflip, or we even managed to get a tank that's in the background here, it was just kind of just had a big list of different things, and it was quite chaotic. I think I still am quite chaotic when it comes to filmmaking. I'm not very good at completely storyboarding an exact script, because you don't know personally, I don't know if I'm going to be that into the writing that I've chosen. But
yeah, because it's a big feel thing of like, I'm not feeling like I can do that today.
But luckily we had the time in front of the camera. I think if Red Bull were very lenient with me with making that. We've spent multiple days trying to get one trick. It wasn't like, you could have made that film much quicker, but it's quite cool when you can really take a concept to its absolute maximum or as good as we could possibly do it in the time that we had. And yeah, I'm really proud of that film. Actually, I think it'll give a lot of people nostalgia. I think.
Oh yeah,
and yeah, it's just fun, a fun one. And, yeah, quite happy.
I remember that being the first video where I was like, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Like this is like a whole thing. It was a very mind-blowing concept. It was very never been done before. And then when I saw that again, like as someone like in this era, that's what I was doing. I was just like, okay, that's a whole thing.
That's cool.
That he's going to be able to do from now,
Yeah, it was. Yeah, as I say, it was a really cool film to work on, and kind of just cool to get that. I mean, that's kind of the personal feeling when I've come up with all these kind of concepts and films. I tried to think about myself working in the bike shop, still as a mechanic there. And if I was watching somebody else doing what I'm doing, would I think the stuff's credible? You try to do the things that I would find cool. And also, given the opportunity that I've had to do the stuff, I would really want to sort of maximize I'm somewhere in between. I really want to sort of maximize, take the opportunities I've been given. But then I'm also a little bit like, sometimes you don't want to over produce. I've stayed away from I do have a YouTube channel, and I've not really gone down the route of really sort of channel building and stuff. It's been quite organic. You'll see a lot of my videos, a lot of them have ended up on Red Bull's channels or Adidas or GoPro or Santa Cruz or everybody else. But it's kind of kept kind of a bit more chill for me, where I'm not quite drawn into a sort of algorithmic schedule. So I've just tried to play it, to keep it as fun as possible for myself, really.
Yeah. What was the rough budget you reckon on that thing?
I actually don't know. It must have been at least $250,000, maybe. It's hard to even. I actually don't know. I was completely.
So it was like the production company, basically.
Yeah, it was my friend Stu Thompson.
Yeah.
It was his production company, Cut Media, who I've worked with a number of times. And then there was some executive producers that were
from Red Bull.
No, they were from a separate company as well that were kind of overseeing the sort of bigger, because Stu at Cut had worked on big projects, but this was like a bigger beast altogether. But Red Bull really gave us a free rein. It was very, very loose. It was me drawing stickman figures, going out there with my pals, trying to land things for multiple days. But yeah, I'm stoked with that one. That's good.
That's a huge, like if you go from way back home to that's a huge jump in production, concept, execution. Went from like 43 mil views to 94 mil views. Like, bro, that's a crazy run as a creator.
Yeah, it was cool. I don't know, kind of almost a little bit surreal when the videos kind of go. You're kind of done with them by the time they go. By the time you go out. In these days, I would actually go on Red Bull's sort of channels first as well, so you'd maybe miss the sort of virality of what it could have been. Not that it's done very well, but Red Bull were kind of quite focused on Red Bull TV at that time, so we'd go there first for the first 48 hours, and then eventually kind of go up onto the main thing. But it's good. It was another way of like, this is kind of how we work with the brands, and you kind of develop more trust as it goes along. So.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.